In this episode, we're going to talk about a little bit about model railroading this time. Get back up on the subject matter at hand. We're going to first talk about the Kingsville Club at Action Hobbies. Some of their Imagine That Laser Art's past clients. Mark and Joe worked on the baseball diamond, Ebbets Field, and big bridge. Today's video is brought to you by Helicon Focus. Helicon Focus is the photo stacker that makes the most clear photographs that you could ever make. To get 20% off a lifetime license of Helicon Focus, go to modelersguild.com/HF. And we thank Helicon Focus for their support of our show. And by And Model. And Model has been making model railroad electronics since 2007, and with their affiliation with Pico and their Smart Switch, you can find them in Europe and in North America. Smart Switch switches your switches and animates your models. So I hear you started a club there, Joe.
Oh yeah, well I didn't start it, but yeah, we got a club going in Kingsville.
Yeah.
And we've got 25 hand-picked members.
Hand-picked?
Yes, so that everybody gets along.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
We've been going about just coming up on 2 years now.
Oh, really? Hasn't
been really any conflict. Everybody is agreeing to everything.
Wonderful.
Trains are running, and scenery's happening. Pretty well all the track work's finished now.
How big is it?
It's approximately 80 by 35.
80 by 35.
Yep.
Go big or go home.
That's right. So it's all Fremo modules.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
So you could take it and move it or go to a show or something if you felt like it. But
yeah, but we're not planning to go anywhere with it. We're just enjoying it where it is, and if people want to see it, they can come and see it. They can come and see it 7 days a week because it's over at the local hobby shop's facility. So as long as the store is open, you can come in anytime and see it.
Did they take up the RC track?
No, the RC track's still there. The karate club left, and that big space was available, so we took it.
Oh, where the mezzanine is?
No, on the main floor.
Oh, wow.
We're right next to the radio control car track, and we got like 2/3 of that big space that was there. So.
I had no idea.
So
I'm coming to visit if you'll let me in.
Oh, yeah, you can come on. Wednesday night's the official night, so you can talk to all the guys and have a little video thing with them too if you like. But it's a real cool club. Everybody, like I said, there's some hand-laid track. There's all different skill levels. There's a couple of guys that never been in trains ever in their whole life.
Perfect.
And we've mentored them along and gotten them up to some pretty decent stuff. And then there's guys who've been in it 45 years, which is me.
Yeah, your friend Mark Roach, he's probably painting up the locomotives to look just...
Well, Mark's Roach is pretty busy right now. He doesn't have much time for any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun out there.
Awesome, awesome. No, I'll be coming down. I'll have to get myself a ride because going out to Kingsville from Windsor, I'll probably be making it. I can't do the night driving anymore.
Well, let me know. I'll pick you up.
My father passed on, so
no, he did.
There's no
hear that.
No place to stay in McGregor anymore.
No, it's keeping me right out.
You're in the call. It looks like.
Yeah.
But no, Mike.
Here we go.
I hear you.
But it's okay.
There we go.
Must be back.
Yeah. Whatever you did, you fixed it now.
I just shut it off and put it back on. Twice.
So let's continue with the club just because we're there right now. You got a 3D printer. You're adding these animated factories to it and stuff like that. You told me yesterday.
Yes. Joe was doing some of the work on them too, which was pretty neat.
So Joe.
Yep.
I had a client a while back, and I used those washable markers.
Yep.
The guy got his structure back and said it was too shiny and dull-coated it.
Good.
You know what happened to the markers?
They faded away.
They ran. Oh,
Wrong water markers.
Yeah, sounds like you used the wrong ones.
you know, you only learn mistakes the one way.
Right. Oh, you just primer it and start over.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, sounds like a massive layout. So what's the prototype? Is it the queso?
Well, it's a Fremo thing, so everybody kind of is doing what they're wanting to do, but it's been blended very well. You can't really tell where there's transitions between the modules because each guy kind of works with each other so that the scene flows and it changes into the next scene.
Mm.
It's not like there's somebody's put a city and then a gigantic mountain right next to it. It all flows really well.
Awesome.
Like we've got a section which is North Platte, Nebraska, and then we've got a guy with C&O Pelton at the queso at Walker Road.
Beautiful.
So, again, it all is blending quite well.
I don't know if you can see that now. Can you see the picture up there?
Yeah.
This is some of the clubs with our buildings there.
Beautiful.
This is the St. Thomas powerhouse here, which I'll show you a whole clip on. The engine facility over here.
In St. Thomas, this is the building that was torn down, and the one in the background is the one that's still standing?
Correct, that's the museum.
Yeah.
Now this building was actually the car shop, but this has been changed from the truth. They did not come in from the end, they came in from side doors.
Oh, okay.
But because it's a club layout, your tables are only so wide.
Yeah, modeler's license.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody would care. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a sense of size.
Yeah.
Interesting point right now. You mentioned 3D printing, and I've gotten into it. The gentleman on the table beside me, which starts right about here, had these embutments made by Shapeways.
Oh, okay.
Now, my laser art could have cut these things out in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever. And it cost him about $5. He set these off, and it was like $45 each.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just a plain piece, which I don't understand why he did it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it is, to get a nice printer, it does cost around $5,000 or $2,500 at least, doesn't it?
Yeah, but still, it doesn't justify that kind of a cost for a simple part. And in other words, you got to think about what it is you're trying to make. If you can do it by hand, please do it by hand because they're going to get you for sure.
Now those are, and also the other thing is those are solid prints. Were they hollowed
They're
out?
hollowed out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ha.
This one's got different. These shots are inside the engine facility and around that same layout. I don't know how much more I got there.
The hinges on that door on the left-hand side, were those 3D printed too?
No, those. Where did they get those from? Campbell Company.
Oh,
Campbell's?
the Tichy ones.
Yeah, they're a real treat to try and put on, as Joe will tell you.
Yeah, tell me about it. They look great though.
Yeah, they work to a point.
Yeah, fragile.
A real learning curve for Joe and I.
They're one part CA. Or maybe 10 parts.
Yeah, really. When I click along these pictures, they may jump to something else, so I'm just kind of going through. These queso cars, I just had 200 of them ordered in special because of this project and them putting these in the museum. I had a bunch ordered up, so those are kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, we have 4 new numbers.
So I'm going to, in the actual video that I'm going to release, I'm going to patch in your YouTube video so that the sound comes through, because last night on our test the sound really didn't come through, and like you said yesterday, the whole, like, it really does sound like a powerhouse.
Yes.
with those moving parts. So if we watched your video, we wouldn't get that sound. So I'm just gonna patch it in so that you really get the experience of the moment of watching those move.
Yeah, that's really kind of cool.
So
This one was the prototype building, so it doesn't have the actual steam engines inside.
so how did you
There we are waiting for them to come.
yeah. How did you paint the brick on the outside? Like yeah, right there. Like
Actually,
a rattle can?
Just acrylic paints, water-based paints, glue it on, and then I put some plaster, dry powder, and just smeared it with a brush and blew it off, and there it was.
It looks great. Like from where, you know, in the early days, it was almost like we butted heads because you wouldn't let me paint the buildings, remember?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I was like jumping from one foot to the other, but I could.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
in
really
the
nice.
beginning, I wanted the modeler to see what he was getting. I didn't want anything hidden.
Yeah.
And maybe in a way it may have backfired a little bit on me because, and looking in hindsight, it probably would have been better if they were colored.
Yeah.
They may have pushed the products farther, but I wanted the modeler to know what he was getting.
Yeah. No, I understood that. You know me, like I just knew that I could accomplish something, and I just wanted to try.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know me, pushing my way through.
Now, we just did that, but I'm going to take you to a series of pictures that's pretty cool, too. This is inside the engine facility.
Mm.
And the shots and the photo work.
That looks exactly like the facility that's the museum.
It is.
When you walk
Which is real.
Yeah, when you walk into the big building, this is an exact picture. Anybody who's been to St. Thomas, Ontario, and walked into the ECRM, that's what you see. All you need is a guy with a lifesaver train table with a big white beard.
That picture is pretty well.
Yeah.
Wow, actually, these are so good because you walk into that museum, like I can picture all those parts.
Yep.
Getting that interior color was really interesting to get it to match.
So the St. Thomas, they just bought the Michigan Central Station. Well, not just, but within the last 10 years, 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 years. They bought the Michigan Central Station and are renovating it. They're thinking about putting a layout in there, or they are putting a layout in there?
There's been rumored, yes, up on the top floor there in the east second floor area where it's wide open.
Oh, wow.
There's talk of it.
Yeah,
Is it up on the screen?
I went there a few years ago and went underneath the caution tape and took a tour of the whole place. I bet you it looks a lot better than when I seen it.
This picture you're looking at here, it's got one of my 3D printed Bridgeports in it right here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was the first attempt on my printer.
And those are
There they are. It's pretty rough on my first attempt.
holy smokes.
Yeah.
Make a couple of those for me, would you?
They are kind of neat. In a way, when you look at them, it kind of looks like the wiring come out of the back.
Yeah, it does.
But from a distance, they look really good. They do. When you get that close up, it kind of distorts sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's what they always say. You know, you stand
Yep.
back from your painting and squint.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I think a project that the viewers would love to see would be the O scale.
There's a shot for you.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Now, I finished my engine terminal. You know that, right?
Yes. Looks good.
Let's see if I could share some photos of mine for you. Well, for Joe, because I don't know if Joe's seen it.
No, I haven't.
So I go to there, follow my own routine. Oh, I opened up the wrong system here. I got the same problems here.
Well, once you get under pressure and it changes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Got that open. Then I share this. Screen share. You see that, Joe?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I took out all that scratch-built track and I put in some. I found it's actually brass track.
That's good.
Because it's always meant to be a prop, right?
Right.
So the trains do run on it. It's just that, you know, and the scenery products are brand new stuff that's coming out to Scenic Express this year that I got the chance to try out.
Mm-hmm.
There's the new Imagine That Laser Art building that Nick designed
Yes, very nice.
in the background. Actually, you remember the Broadway Limited trains? You'll notice the switcher cabs in the front. That's from that box that we got way back when.
Oh, yes.
You remember those?
I do.
Actually, you've got a box full of tenders, don't you? Or is that on the layout, the club layout now?
I'm not sure where that went to.
And there's your the panel board. See, I made a video about using that foam board.
Yep.
And I credited you guys for that. How I made the concrete there on the bottom.
That was a Brian Fletcher thing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm gonna keep it with you guys because you guys are the ones who showed me. Yeah, so still working away on it. Those are pre finishing the scenery, but yeah. So you were working on the baseball stadium, and I had the story wrong. I thought it was the baseball stadium that got skewered by the fork truck, but it was the bridge.
Yes.
So how did that story all come about?
Well, I can find that. Joe can actually tell you while I find it, and then we can talk about it then.
Ebbets Field.
Yeah, Ebbets Field, yeah. That was an interesting story when we got connected with the fellow out in California about building those Brooklyn bridges for him for the New York subway system.
Yeah, so before, how big is an O-scale baseball field? Because you know, right?
14 feet by 10.
14 by 10 feet.
Yeah, that's the size of some guys' layouts.
You know, really a picture that, you know, if you put up Ebbets Field in Google search, you can see the model of Ebbets Field that you guys made with Mark's head sitting in the middle of the diamond.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came across one earlier before we got on here, and it showed a lawn tractor, a barbecue, all sitting in the infield. So that's pretty big.
It's huge. I seen it myself, and I don't know if I could lay on the field end to end, but it was almost that big.
Of course, I'm not finding what I want to find.
Of course.
and yeah, Ron, you were right. If you got inside in the infield, you could stretch out right across. From home plate to the end of the outfield, you could lay right in it.
Yeah.
We originally went to the client's home, and he had murals of ballparks on 3 walls around his bed.
Oh,
They could have put the bed inside our ballpark, and we would have been all happy. Okay, Ebbets Field. Let's give it a go. We'll start. There you go.
no, you gotta share the screen.
Oh, I'm not sharing it. I don't want to share with you guys at all.
I'm taking my toys and going home.
No, I'm taking my bat and ball and going home.
Yeah. Full screen share. Here we go. Now I got to find out where I had it. There we go. There you have it. Some of these are earlier stage. This is an early stage. It's not quite ready for shipping here, but you'll get the idea.
Just blew. Like when I walked into the shop, it was like the typical head wag, jaw dropped. What the hell is this? Beautiful.
This thing is huge. This pictures don't even give you the idea of it, but it is huge.
Yeah. And when you get into the inside of, like, look at all that, the fencing there. Like, wow. When you move to O-scale, that fencing looks so dead on.
Even all these louvers are all cut in one piece on the laser, and then we had to open each louver. We put some bird's nests up in there and everything.
My goodness. Look, this is awesome because we're all on the outside, and once you get onto the inside, it's like a whole, like, look at this. Wow. This is where we break. You know what? I'm going to break in with some music on the video. I'm going to, let's go out to the ball game.
Get her in there.
Wow.
Now that fencing, if I can do this. I want to move in. I don't know if it'll let me. No. I did it. Yes. Oh, I know what I did. There we go.
Look at that.
Now that fencing, if you look, it's all hand tied in there. Here.
Yeah, and we were speaking yesterday, you have to tie it because you really can't hide glue when it comes to Weddingville.
No.
It just becomes a mess, no matter what glue you try.
We had Mark Roach working with us, and he started a piece of fence and said, "What do you think of this?" I said, "Hey, that looks great." Joe looked at it and says, "That looks great. You got to do the whole park now, Mark." Then he stopped.
I knew that was. I knew where that was going.
As well as inside, you'll see all the brass rails when we get inside.
Oh
He
my
wanted it, he said, "This looks great." And I said, "Good. There's a whole park they're going."
My goodness.
But he had a production line over there, and away he went.
Yeah, all the seats,
Yeah.
all the in those lights. There's where your head pops through.
Yeah.
31,000 seats, every one of them fold up and down.
You know, I thought I had it hard with building all those Albany towers and the windows.
If you look, you'll see some seats up, some down, probably.
Yeah.
You can see them in different areas.
And I've got the same statistic. The Albany Tower has 122 windows.
Yeah. And we took so many pictures. I mean, it's endless. So many pictures we took. 'Cause it was one thing to, as you're building it, and you could see things happening, and you take a picture through all the curves. Then you take a picture of the next, and you kept doing it. The collection of photos is just crazy.
It is crazy. I wonder.
This
like,
is up in the mezzanine, looking down.
Yeah. Almost makes it look small there.
Yep.
I wonder, I wonder what the client really thought of in the end. Like, you have these expectations of models, and this really went over and beyond what I expected would be able to be accomplished.
Yeah, I think it kind of surprised him too.
Yeah.
They're lit up, so it really gives you a sense of what it really looked like.
The yellow incandescent lights.
And the lobby's all done inside too, so it was pretty neat.
Oh, and you see,
There you go.
the stadium lights are blue, just like the real thing outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's inside the lobby.
Oh my good God.
There's the page on a poster. And one interesting thing, the actual chandelier in the ballpark was baseball bats with a chain down to the baseball. I think Mark Roach accomplished that look, skill.
Actually, that man's got a bunch of talent. Wow.
Gives you the sense you're there.
Hey, this is the stuff that, it blew me away. And when I showed my father hated model railroading, hated everything I did. But when he saw this, he kind of changed stuff. He's like, oh, you got to get a part of it. I'm like, I tried.
We even put our own hamburger and hot dog stand.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This was interesting putting this together because this is exactly the same as the real sign was. When there was a hit, the H on Schaefer Field would light. So did ours. E for air, and of course it also did. So it was kind of cool.
How did you print that on a laser printer?
This is all done on the laser cut out, and then we painted it after.
On a laser cutter.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you layered the white and red and the yellow and the black and.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness! I had no idea.
Yeah. You can get carried away.
Oh my goodness!
Here's a good shot.
Look at that! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! This is knock the socks off of anybody. And one day this is the kind of model that you'll find at the Smithsonian.
There's a guy going into the bathroom here.
Ultra real. Oh my gosh! As you're standing in the middle of the field, are you not?
Yeah.
Holy cripes! You take the walls out in the background, put a starry sky, and you've got yourself some ultra realism.
Yeah. That's why I said it. As we built it, pictures kept getting more realistic, more alive, and then different things happen with the camera when you take the picture too. So that helps. Puts the mist over the field.
Yeah. So the
there you go.
The pictures really drove the development of the.
Oh, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Like I imagine taking pictures, you can see what's missing, and
yeah.
Actually, that's probably a can of worms.
Oh, now you're talking about the damage that happened to the overpass, and this was the Harlem Street overpass in O scale.
Yeah.
And we packaged this thing, put it in a wood box, all 2x4 framed and everything. Somewhere in transit, probably Chicago, somebody took the fork truck, tried to flip the box up, and drove ahead and lifted. Well, he flipped it up on an angle, went through the floor, and lifted it up and smashed everything inside.
So it was the post office.
There it is. And my client, of course, he called me, and he was just fuming. There was nothing but pieces. And I said, what are you talking about? It was a wood box. Nothing's going to happen to it. But the fork truck came in, and it came through the floor, like down here.
Yeah.
One of them did this, and one came through here, and he lifted. It just went bam, 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 all the way through. And like I said, it was just a pile of junk inside. So I told him to get it all in the box, set it all out, take some pictures, because I couldn't believe it. So Joe and I both looked at it and shook our head. Both in just shocked. But then we started examining it. And I said, you know what? It broke where it should break. If it was under big stress or an earthquake.
Ah.
And then we started looking closer. We can put this back together in about a couple of days.
Yeah.
This isn't that bad. So we armed ourselves with a whole pile of rerun laser parts, headed to California, rebuilt it in 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Got the contract to build another bridge and the ballpark.
Wow.
So because of how magically that all worked, it wound up into getting the ballpark.
Yeah. Oh,
and there
wow.
goes the ballpark.
So I was under the impression...
Where's the real ballpark?
I was under the impression...
Real, old, new.
Exact. Exact. I was under the impression years ago that it was the ballpark that got skewered.
No. Then I would have tried.
That gives you a good idea of how big it is.
Yeah. The light stands are as big as your head.
Yeah. And that's a story, too. All these lights, of course, are all lit, as you can see. Mark Roach took on that project to wire the lights, and he had it in real time. But it paid off in the end. They looked just incredible.
So, yeah. Oh, look, though. You got weld bond. See, weld bond goes around, guys.
That's where it was invented, right here with the ballpark. Gallons of it.
Yeah.
I think we went through a 5-gallon pail.
Yeah.
I'm still using weld bond today. I talk about it in almost every video.
Do you also say how easy it is to take apart?
Yeah.
By using heat?
Oh.
Use a hair dryer on it, and it'll come right up.
You know, the thing is when I was building the Chicago L for the North Carolina client, I had 80 feet to build, and I'm sitting there on a live video and just putting stuff together, throwing it down, putting stuff together, no clamps, and it's tacking up so quickly. People are commenting left and right. What are you using for glue? Even like the very talented modeler Chester Fessmeyer, he's like, what are you using? This is amazing, because I'm just like plowing through these parts, and it's just like weld bond. It just, you put a little bit on your finger. It's the best tool. This is the best tool you got,
Oh, it's amazing. That's sure.
Look at that. You just can't beat the realism of these lasers today.
Oh, it is incredible. Look at that. There's Joe's head right up there on the top. There's some pictures that, and right now I'm at a loss of knowing where exactly they all are, but some of them are just so high realism is incredible.
Look at that.
Feel that picture there.
This is like the shot the reporters got when he gets access to the stadium all to himself,
There you go, the hand-tied brass thread.
So Mark didn't finish the job. He just had the idea.
Oh, he did it. All these railings you're looking at, he made all of them.
Wow.
And he had a whole line, a little production line. It was weeks. I don't know how long it took him. It took a long time. Well, you get one person on the job, you can't take them away and put somebody else in the same spot because you'll lose different qualities. Everybody works so different.
Yeah.
Mark was meticulous, and he just was the perfect guy for the job, and the patience.
So
I don't know if Joe and I would have had that many patients.
yeah. It would have doubled the build time. How long did it take to build this stadium?
14 months, and at one time there was about 7 of us working on it.
Holy smokes.
It's when you get into putting the seats in, it was a massive job.
Yeah, you were probably working at the bench doing each tier.
Well, this infield was out. Everybody was sitting in here in chairs, and somebody'd be here, somebody over here, and another guy here, working in like a sewing bee.
Yeah.
For a month.
Look.
Or more. It might have been even more, eh?
It was good.
Yeah, like it's add the sounds of the baseball game, and some people wouldn't even notice.
Oh, true. True.
Wow.
Those are mezzanine shots in some of them.
You really couldn't get the perspective unless you went probably about 20 feet away.
Like this filled up our shop that we had. There wasn't much room on this side or this side to walk around.
Yeah, it's really the only space where it could fit, and you had
Right.
to squeeze yourself around it.
The interesting part was when we got it out to California and in the guy's train room, it was lost. That's how big his train room was. I think it was about 15,000 square feet.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many pieces did this break up into to get shipped?
Well, maybe 10 altogether.
Altogether 10.
Yeah, about 10 pieces.
Oh, wow.
We got a picture of it on the truck here somewhere.
And then you boxed it up in a crate and had it UPS'd?
We drove it.
Oh.
Joe and Mark both drove it out there. I flew out before them to do some work on one of the overpasses, and then they caught up with me out there.
So you learned your lesson from the bridge.
Yeah, we didn't trust anyone. So Joe got to take the rented truck out on Bonneville Salt Flats and see how fast it would go.
Yeah.
He did. He actually did that.
Hot rodders.
There's
Take the
a
hot
shot.
rod out of you. Yeah.
There's a really neat shot.
So was there another baseball stadium that you were going to build, or did that happen?
It was supposed to.
Mm.
And I thought when we left the installation that we had this contract. And he said, let me live with this for a little bit and I'll give you a call. We never got the call.
Yeah.
Sad part is, this is what, 2-3 years later now? It's all been taken apart and being moved. He sold the building, bought a new home, and it's being moved to this new location. Somebody else took it apart.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we have a live, even right now to this day, to California, to see everything as it's being taken apart and everything. So we got to watch the guys pull it apart, and I wasn't too pleased.
Usually,
Well, I don't know how much damage was done, but there was definitely damage done.
you know, these helpers of the rich and famous, I had one of those helpers down in North Carolina, and I kept on saying he's about as useful as a broken sack of toys.
Oh, yeah. Well, these guys have a big reputation and should have known how to do it properly. And I even told them, I said, when you take it apart, make sure somebody is watching at the seam when it comes apart.
Yeah.
Well, the two of them got on one end and pulled.
Oh, no.
What are you going to see?
Yeah,
No.
you're going to see a whole floor fall apart and seats fly everywhere.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite shots that we took.
Really? You can't tell.
No.
Like, maybe in the top right corner is the only section where you could pick out something that's out of place.
Well, actually, I think that's not out of place. I think that's the light bar. Up here?
Yeah.
I think that's where the lights were up there.
Wow.
The only thing that's missing in that photo, Ron, is the spilled Coke and the popcorn on the ground.
Yeah.
We should have done that with some little styrofoam bits. Oh man, that'd been cool.
You need to 3D print some beer cups
Yeah, there you go.
with flies coming out of them.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that. Whoa! Look at that.
That gives you the feeling of distance.
Holy smokes! Now
Go up to the nosebleed section.
there's a photo that you cannot pick out if it's real or fake. You guys did such a good job. I
It
can't.
was an incredible piece.
Incredible opportunity, really.
This shot makes me think of a dark, dank night. You're waiting to see a mobster walk down the street or something.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's forever and ever. I'll always have the folder of pictures, and I'll share with people. This is something that I seen in real life, and one day you're gonna see it in, you know. I think that this is probably one of those models that'll make it into the Smithsonian.
If it is repairable.
Hey, maybe there's an opportunity to build another one. Maybe I've got a chance.
There's some more pictures here. Wow. We're going to start right here. There's a shot.
Look at that.
This is not too long before we take it apart, and might be just hours. An hour.
Yeah.
Shipping.
Whoa.
What's neat is it gave you the opportunity to get right up tight because we took the infield out.
There's the guy with the cigar.
Right here, yeah. That's the
Yeah.
boss.
No.
It is.
Look at that. Yeah, I don't care who you are. You could be Tony Coster, and you'll be slack-jawed and shaking your head just at viewing these photographs, let alone seeing it in real life. So what are you?
Another stop for you.
Yeah.
Right back. There's Mark Rhodes.
Yeah, Mark in the background.
Couple old guys up front.
So thanks for watching this episode. In next episode, we're going to continue on with more model railroading content.
On the road, out of the city, gonna leave my past behind. I will stand, take no pity. Pain is broken, man.